Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to finish up a couple odds and ends. So last week we did some dipping. This week we're going to start off by attaching the parts we dipped last week. And then we're going to move on to the interior, see if we can't get it all kind of cleaned up, finished. If we got any extra time, we'll see what else we can do. Let's get to it. Alright, so I don't know that we got a good chance to show you the lights, but they're looking really good. Really pleased with the process. Super fun and just a cool way to paint. Okay, I've got the headlight housings in. I also got the wiring in back complete, so everything's kind of fastened. Wires are connected. This should be pretty much finished. So I feel like you can never really see this in good light, but that's probably the best that I've seen so far. So again, I think it looks really sharp. Alright, I took this one back out. I was looking at it and I thought, God, there's just this little, I don't even know if you can see it, but just kind of a little mark there. And when I look closer, I thought that light bulb in there doesn't look centered. And you probably can't tell, but it's wobbly. So I'm going to take this one out and see if there's something to tighten or if I just need to get a new bulb in there. The bulb was just held in by some loose snaps, so I just put a drop of epoxy on it. Okay, we were able to put the rear lights in. I've had this protective film on it since I got these, so I think it's probably time to take it off. And that's what she looks like. We'll go for a quick drive, test this out. Okay, we are outside and it is dark enough that we're going to do some headlight testing. So right now, these are just I call them the park lights. And I've also got another car here and it's got its headlights on. So this is kind of the beam pattern. And what I'll do is I'll kind of maybe put some tape on it and then I'll turn these ones off and put those ones on and try and line things up. I realize the night will not show it that well, but it is just still such a low car. The other thing is I've got some, call it the sequential turn signals that I still haven't put in, so you can kind of see them shining inside. It almost looks like I've got the ground effects going. But one of these days I'm going to figure out where I want to put those. Alright, I'm about halfway through this process. My right side's still just a little bit low. In general, I'm a lot lower than my other car, but I do have to recognize that this car is also lower. So I don't want it to be like shining up and just blinding people. So I'll probably keep it a little bit lower than the other car. I still need to raise that one up. They kind of have this little arc pattern. So it makes me a little bit worried about that one kind of going up a little bit. But again, it's below the other car, so I'm thinking that might be okay. And I think the real The real test will be to drive around and have people look at me and see if it seems like it's blinding. Because again, the other one does the same thing. I thought maybe there was like a right and a left, but again, if I switch it, that one's still got kind of the artifact going up, that one's got the artifact going up. So it's just kind of the way it is. The other thing is the park lights are kind of that old flashlight, you know, and the new LEDs. So eventually I'll probably want to get some light bulb replacements for the park lights to kind of match. And then we'll look at the brights. All right, that is the brights from new kit car. And man, if you ever wanted to blind somebody, that's how you do it. So here are the brights from my other car. So again, they're still kind of have the top part cut off, and they're not a whole lot taller than the previous one. So I really got to angle these ones down. So again, I've got one, need to do the other one. It is interesting though, the other car here, it's got kind of a pretty distinct cutoff. This one's got kind of, I'll call it a bright pattern, but the cutoff is a little more hazy. Okay, I think I've got the brights dialed in. So now it's time for a night test drive. Okay, so driving on the road, and this is kind of what I'm looking at. So you can see the beams are kind of ending on the road. If anything, I could kind of raise them up a little bit. And the brights are very bright. Okay, I think there's also some questions about if the drive lights and stuff are too bright. I know the camera's really hard to pick up on it, but it doesn't bother me. I think the only thing that does kind of bother me is the steering wheel's kind of in the line of sight for reading a lot of the gauges, but I think I can tilt that up and down. So the drama with this car never ends. Just got back from a drive. I was here trying to program the iPad to kind of sleep when I want to sleep, not turn off, low power, all that stuff. And all of a sudden I thought, it's awfully quiet. And my motor, sorry, not my motor, but my pump is not running. So I got to figure out if it's just kind of a connection, if the pump went bad, or if there's a problem with controller. So more fun. All right, I was going to put in the sound deadening in the carpet. We still may get to that this week, I don't know, but now I've got to kind of figure out the motor problem. I keep calling it a motor. The pump problem, which means I got to get some of these interior panels out to check things. So I'll work on that. I took off the access panel. Again, overall, that's not a bad design for me to have access here. I was hoping it was just like a fuse. Fuse is good. So next step is I will check. So I'll turn the car on. I'll figure out which plug is the one that's going back to the pump and see if that has power. Because if that has power, if I got wires and things going to the pump that have power, it might mean that my pump is out. And it's buried kind of deep, bit challenging access. So I'll check the wires from the plug though. I've been troubleshooting, got my connector out, and again I've got my 12 volt power supply. And if I do connect it to power, my pump is working. So again, it's not my pump, it's not the fuse, so I guess I could check the relay. If it's not the relay, I'm not quite sure. I mean, those are kind of the usual, call them failure points. So I'll keep checking. I pulled out the relay, and so it is working. So I think that means the signal is not getting to the relay, because I've checked the fuse, I've checked the relay, I checked the pump, everything's good. So I think it's just signal. I'll kind of confirm that, and then I'll have to figure out how or why the signal's not coming. All right, I had to go deep, but had to flip over my whole fuse box, fuse relay box, and a wire there, I'll call it a connection, was just kind of slightly out of place. I don't know if it just rattled loose, but I'm going to kind of make sure that all the connections there are good. Probably use some hot glue or something just to kind of make sure that they don't wobble. But that was the culprit. I want to finish up a few things on the interior. I want to get sound deadening. I want to get the carpets in. There's also just a little cleanup work with the back panel that goes in. One other thing I need to do is I put the dash in place, but this back access panel actually needs to be in place before the dash. So it used to be part of the shell, and then this sits on top of that. So I'm gonna have to kind of shimmy the dash up a little bit, put this other panel in, and then put things back together. I put in my rear access panel here. That was okay. The challenge now is, so again, this used to all be part of the shell. I cut it so I could get access here, but it does not fit very well with the dash piece. So right now, remember I split it so it can kind of flex open, but it's like flexed way open and it can't sit all the way down. It's like kind of, I don't know, a ½ inch up, so it's supposed to be on these bars. So got to figure out how to make that work. All right, so I tried a different fit technique where I lifted this panel up, put the kind of dash panel, the center console down, and then put this one over it. I don't know. I'm just trying to decide what is the easiest to fix. So this one fits okay. I need to kind of make that transition look a little better, but the other, obviously the main thing here is this one doesn't fit. It's a little too long. So again, it wouldn't be too difficult to kind of reprofile this one so it fits. The other thing I could do, I could go back to having this one kind of down all the way and then carve up this gray part of the center console. So I'll probably look at the footage and kind of try and make a decision. Okay, so here's my thought with this back panel. If I put the back panel in first, I mean before the gray dash piece there, it doesn't sit down all the way. I say that. It touches, the bottom touches the ground, but this piece here kind of sits up a little bit. So if the gray piece were to kind of go on top of that, it sits up even more. So I'm thinking I do want this to come in kind of after, like it is now, but right now we're kind of a ways off. So we're gonna have to do some trimming. So again, I'll probably have this center dash console be down and in place and just kind of cut and trim to make this, when it comes down, look pretty decent when it comes on top of it. All right, I'm trying to secure kind of the dash in place. One of the things I'm looking at though is kind of the center console piece. It doesn't fit. So again, I've pushed it kind of as far forward as I can, and with the stereo where it needs to go, this panel here, let's see. So in that panel where it needs to go. So everything's lining up well until you get down here, and this one just can't go down. And besides that, there's a piece here. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how this works, but I think I'm gonna need to take this one out, carve it up, and it might mean that I need to rewrap this one. Maybe I can just peel it up, carve it off, and wrap it back around, but we'll see. All right, I'm trying to make sure I've got things in the proper position. I believe the dash here is supposed to kind of nestle right up against here. However, this is as far forward as it can go, meaning these poles back here kind of prohibit further movement that way. So I'm pushing as far forward as I can. I'm going to fasten it. I've got some fasten points there, and I'll probably put some more up here. At that point, I'll then modify this piece so it can mate with the other access panel there. On this access panel, we've got this here. Again, this is where the center console comes up, and again, it's sticking up too high. But this one, again, it's going to slide down over it, and so I just need to kind of chop that one right off here. All right, so I trimmed up this panel, tried to test fit it, and it still doesn't sit down all the way. And besides that, I just royally botched it right there. It's kind of torn up the leather. So I'll want to rewrap this piece, And this one I still need to take out, and I guess I've just got to cut up some more. Note to self, make sure it fits before you put the finishes on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fasten all the interior panels. So we'll do a quick time lapse and you can watch me crawl all around the car. Okay, I got these side panels fastened. When I fastened this bottom, this top part actually kind of tended to pull away. So I got one more fasten point there, and again on this side as well. And other than that, I got these on the dash up here. So there's one there, one on the other corner. I actually drilled two more here, but I'm out of screws. So I need to go to the hardware store, get some of those. What I'm going to do now, so I need to put this one in. I put the seats in and out just to make sure that things fit. So this one's kind of challenging to get in and out. It needs to be like, I don't know, kind of has to angle in from the back. It's really tight squeeze. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably have this one in, I'll scoot it all the way forward before I put that back piece on. Other than that, I think I'm going to start kind of vacuuming, cleaning out here and putting some sound deadening in. Okay, before I buttoned everything up, I thought I'd also try on the doors. There is a slight problem or interference kind of right up here. So as the door closes, it really kind of tries to pinch this in, and there's no way really for this to go. And so what happens is the door front is kind of forced out. So again, this is fixed to the latch. This is fixed to the hinge. So basically the only place it has to go out is up here. So I don't think though that I'm going to want to mess with the dash. So I think what it means is on the door, I'll probably just kind of shave it off a little bit to kind of make it fit a little better. It's the name of the game. Make things fit. The driver's side's even a little worse. So when it comes down, you can hear it start hitting here, and I really can't even hear that. I can't even close it though, and we're off like big time there. So I do think this is something I'll try and correct on the doors. So I think we'll call it good for the interior and continue to button it up. I put the sound deadening material in, as well as the carpet. So the carpet fits pretty decently, considering the rest of the kit is so-so. But yeah, kind of traced it out, cut it out, stuck it in, pulled a little bit of the adhesive off, you know, kind of put it down, then pulled the rest off, kind of in sections. But this side is pretty close to done. Again, I was hoping to get a little further, but we are out of time. So I still need to do the driver's side, and got a few other kind of minor odds and ends to kind of get fixed for the interior. All right, we didn't get as far as I was hoping. I had that one electrical issue. Got it sorted out. Cross your fingers. But that'll do it for this week. See you next week.